Hey, Naja, Naja. 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 Hey, Naja. Welcome back to my channel. Yes. Hello, my go-getters. Hello, my go-getters. Yes, we are going to have some dinner tonight. We're going to say grace. We're going to get it in. It's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Let's get it in. Father God, in the name of Jesus, come before you ever so humble. Lord, thank you for the food I'm about to receive. In Jesus' name, amen. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Thumbnail. Okay. One of those got to be a winner. I don't know. But we're going to have some honey and hot sauce, my favorite. And instead of regular French fries tonight, I have some sweet potato French fries, deep fried them myself. And, of course, I have my leg quarter, but this is a lemon pepper deep fried. Okay, so we're going to get it in right now. Okay. Ooh. That is good. Okay. So, how's everybody doing today? Hope everything is going all right. A lot of stuff is opening up for us. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but my opinion is it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing until we find a cure for this virus or a antidote or medication, which leads up to this exact same thing I said the first time. Okay? What else? Delicious. Hot sauce on there. This is so good. This is really good. This is so good with the lemon pepper. Deep fried. And my seasonings. So love it. I'm not gonna be stingy. Look at that smoke. Yeah, steam. Nice and hot. And my sweet potato fries. That's good. It's like a little bit of ketchup on them. I haven't had them in a while. And they're pretty good. This is so good. So, Mm, mm, mm. Got my rag. My damp rag. So good. Whenever I'm eating honey, I have to have it. I don't know, I've been using it for quite a while now. I've been using it. They have a damp rag. And we have the pineapple cup on deck. What we got the pineapple cup on deck. Bam. Okay. So, everybody's watching cable of some sort. Netflix of some sort, Hulu. There's a whole bunch of movie networks, TV networks out there that you're watching. I happen to be watching Netflix. And what I came across was this Netflix movie they had. And I've seen it. It's been out for a minute. I don't like all that stuff. It's been out for a minute. And when it first came out, I didn't want to see it. The name of it is When They See Us. Okay. When They See Us is about the Central Park Jogger. In New York, they called it the Central Park Jogger 5 or something like that. I can't remember exactly because, I don't know, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I just watched it last night and it was horrific. I think it came out could have been 6-7 months ago when it came out with the movie of it. And I avoid watching it because of the simple fact is I was there. I wasn't there when it, no. I was in New York at that time when that incident for doing to them young boys, them young black boys, young teenagers, ranging from the age of 14 to 16. Not one of them was 17. One that was 15 that they tried to coerce him into saying he was 16. So anyways, I avoid watching it because I'm born and raised in New York. Excuse me. And all my family is in New York. My immediate family, we came and moved to North Carolina. So, at the time when this happened, I think June, July, August. Okay, I was 22 years old when this happened. And in college and everything. In New York, lived in New York, family and everything else. So anyways, when this incident happened, it was horrific. These 5 young boys was accused of raping a white woman, jogger, in Central Park. Okay, so in New York, my neighborhood, most of the neighborhood, we knew that it wasn't true. We seen the testimony, we seen the footage of them being interrogated on TV, live footage that you can catch now. You can catch the footage on YouTube. Back then we didn't have it. We had YouTube, but it wasn't like that. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have none of that we have now. So anyways, we already knew, as the black community already knew, that these 5 boys was railroaded. And we watched the case. I watched the case. They had no evidence, no nothing. You're going to accuse them of raping and beating her, but there's no blood on their clothes, no dirt on their shoes and nothing. One of the little black guys, one of the little black boys fell, and he had some dirt on his knee. That was it. Other than that, nothing. No semen matches, no DNA. Went through the whole trial, and they still convicted him. So Netflix had the movie When They See Us, and this producer produced it, and what she did, she really brought the characters to life, because in '89 they were sentenced 5 to 10 years in prison. 4 of them went to juvenile and an age-appropriate prison. But the last one, which is Corey, he went to Rikers Island. And then they took him from Rikers Island and put him into like a big correctional prison with adults. And it shows you how, what they went through when they got out of jail, how they was perceived by the community and people. Some was hate, some wasn't hate. It was really sad. And then come to find out that those boys spent I think maybe the 4 of them spent 5 to 7 years in prison. Corey, he wound up spending 12 years in prison. And so, Corey, who spent close to 12 years in prison, he met the guy who was the rapist in prison. He was in prison. And they met at Rikers Island. And then from Rikers Island, they were separated and they went, well, they didn't know where each other was. So they met up again at the other prison. But Corey didn't know that was the one who was the real rapist, who raped 2 other women before. One woman before the jogger, and then they had the 5 boys in prison, and he went ahead and continued doing his raping and beating women to death, because he beat one woman and raped her. Then he hit the jogger. Then he went on to get another victim. So while he's out there running crazy, these 5 black young boys are in prison for something they didn't do. And the sad part about it is that the police interrogation of the 5 boys was ridiculous. 18 hours, no food, no bathroom. They was beating them up. They was doing a lot of things. It was terrible. You need to watch the movie, because that part of it, I did not know nothing of. I knew about the crime. I knew what they was being accused of. Seen the trial, went through the trial, seen interrogation tapes where the boys looked scared, didn't stumbling over their words. But in the movie, it lets you know exactly what these officers was doing to these kids. It was sad. But they're out. They're older men now. Getting their life back together. And so You get to hear their side. They sued the city of New York for $40 million. They had an interview with Oprah. It was something else. But the one that really got me was Corey, because they took 4 boys. It was a group of boys. It was like 30 of them. They all went to Central Park, wilding out or whatever they was doing. And the cops came and they start rounding up just any little black boy that fit that description. It was just sad. But I'm glad they got justice. And that was the only reason why they got justice, because the guy who was the real rapist and attempted murder on the lady, and he had 2 other crimes similar to that. They didn't even try to investigate to find out if these 2 MOS will, do they match up. He's doing this, but these kids is running around the park fighting with each other and beating each other up and, doing just stupid kid dumb crap. But you got this rapist out here within the same time span of it, but you're not even checking into him. He did it twice. And then this lady pops up, the jogger. She gets hurt and raped, but you're not going to put that together. So anyway, DNA, all that, nothing came through with that. All of that had no evidence against the boys, but they wanted to prove something. Oh my gosh. But he came forward, the one who really did it, because of the boys being so popular, which is not popular in a good way. It was a big thing in New York. Central Park jogger was raped and left for dead. And 4 black boys was the ones that killed her. So when they went to prison, the other ones went to juvenile prison, something like that, but it wasn't hardcore prison. Corey was the only one that went there. And he stayed when they picked 4 of them up, because they fit the description of anything that they wanted to pin it to. Corey stayed for his friend Yusef for moral support. The cop said, "Oh, you're gonna come down to the station to be here for your friend or whatever." He said, "Yeah, I'll come there. I want to support my friend. I want to be there for him." And then after they interrogated the 4 boys, they realized that, well, the story is missing and that we need a 5th person. So he was out there waiting on Yusef. He was out there sleeping. They snatched him up, put him in jail, and arrested him. And they coerced. They told the boys what to say. We tell them that this one did that one did this one did that one. None of the boys knew each other. So when they was telling them, well, say that this one did that one, say that. Who's that? I don't even know these people. I didn't do it. It was 2 boys. The only 2 boys out of the 5 that knew each other was Corey and Yusef. They was the only ones. So imagine 5 boys there. And the 3 boys didn't know the 4 boys. And the 2 boys didn't know the 3 boys. And so when they all put them in the room together, in the cell together, they looking like, "Are you this one?" Because they was describing, the detectives was describing each individual boy to the other boy to have them say his name and tell him, "Oh, well, say that he did that, and you did this, and then nothing matches up." And then they realized when they was in the cell together, "Did you say this? Oh, they told me to say this. They told me to say that, and this one told me to say this." And one, I think it was Yusuf, he said, "Oh, they told us to lie on each other. And they didn't even know each other." And Corey's sitting out there thinking he's being a good friend because Yusuf's mother was at work and she couldn't be there. They didn't notify none of the parents. The only parent that was notified was, I can't remember his name. One of the boys' parents was notified, and the cops got to the father, scared him up, told him basically, if your son don't comply if your son don't comply or go along with the story that he has something to do with it, then I'm gonna let your job know that you're a felon, and you didn't tell your job that. So the father was scared of losing his job and going back to prison. So he made his son admit to something he didn't do. Oh, that was so heartbreaking. I'm done. But hey, you need to check that movie out. But it's a true story, and they show the pictures of the young men today, and the one who played Corey, I think his name is Jarrell. Anyways, he won an Emmy for his performance, and his performance was priceless. Had me in tears, literally. What he went through in there, oh my gosh, it was horrific. It was horrific. But nonetheless, it's a true story, and I lived through it. I was there in New York, and when I heard the verdict came in, it was like a funeral was in my family. We was crying and carrying on. We could not believe it, with no evidence. And then come to find out, and 12 years later, that the guy who really did it, he came through. It was terrible. It was a really good movie. It let you know the inside of what happened to these boys and how they went on with their life. And they had a rough road, but they got, they got their life back. But some of them are scarred for life. And they can't regain their life back. They can regain it back with therapy. One of them don't want it. He's the one that his father told him to do that, and then couldn't stand up for him and come to court and support him. Oh my gosh, that was so sad. But I was just going through on Netflix, when there's nothing on TV. So I was going through, I'm like, what? Let me see how many Black actors and actresses got Oscars, because everybody, we know about Hattie McDaniel from Going with the Wind. She was the first African American to get an Oscar. And then it went on down, Sidney Poitier, and then it just went on down. And then I was like, okay, what about the Emmys? And then when I seen the Emmys, and they had the little black guy on there, and he got one for When They See Us. And then under small print is the Central Park Jogger. I was like, oh, I was there. I was there that time. I was in New York, living in New York, when that happened, and how it impacted the whole community in New York. It was very horrific. It was something else. And so I was like, well, okay, no, I don't want to watch that. But then when I seen the little guy got the Emmy, and they said he's had such a riveting performance, I said, I have to see it, because it shows you what happened to them while they were in prison. What happened to them when they got out. We never seen it. And then it shows them in the present time, the present day, how they're going on with their lives, and how they're very, very close. They're very, very close-knit, all 5 boys. 3 that didn't know, they all did, well, it was 5 of them. Only 2 knew each other, and the other 3 didn't know the 2 that knew each other, plus each other. So it was that one boy, he didn't know the four boys. The other boy, he didn't know the four boys. The other boy, he didn't know the four boys. But the two boys, they knew the three, they didn't know the three boys. So it was like, oh, it was, you really have to see it. I've never cried so hard in my life. It was horrific. So, with that being said, it's just we have to be more united. We have to pray for justice in America. And we have to try to keep our children safe. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. It is a lot. But I'm going to sign out. So make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell button. So that way you know if I'm uploading another video. And also thank you to my subscribers. Without you, there would be no me. I mean, really, thank you for your support. I really, 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 really appreciate you. So with that being said, I'm going to say peace, love, and pray and stay safe in these streets. Peace. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Get it together with Naudra.